The Standard Pour. Standard. Pour. Standard. The Standard Pour. Yo, we are here.
Howdy how. It is the Standard Pour. This is the Halloween special, right?
The Halloween special. Yeah.
So
what's happening? It's been a minute. We kind of skipped a week there, unfortunately.
Did we skip a week?
Yeah, we were supposed to meet up last week, and
Week and a half, I guess.
I fucked that up.
It's all right.
It's all good.
No bigs. They didn't know.
They don't even care.
They don't know.
They do not care. I could tell that by our Patreon page. We got the Patreon. I'm going to go ahead and just pull it up for you guys so that you know. Just in case you want to donate to this whatever kind of thing we got going on here. You go to patreon.com/standardpour. Yeah, we just did one episode already, so we're just still trying to get this thing going, I guess. A lot of you motherfuckers are into like your 500th podcast talking about the kinds of cats that you run into when you're walking through your neighborhood.
Super lame.
Maybe you have or if you have a podcast about the podcast that you listen to.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, you're probably on your 500th episode too, but we're on episode 2. This is what our thing looks like. I guess I shouldn't really show how many people have donated because that's private, but
since it's zero, it doesn't really matter, does it?
And that'd be cool if it was more.
We'll get there.
Yeah, anyways, I don't know, man. Let's just get into the meat and potatoes of this shit.
So it was kind of Halloween weekend at the bars everywhere, right?
Yeah, Halloween weekend. So when you do holidays, what is the rule? This is what I'm going to say what I assume, and then I'm going to see if this is correct.
Are you asking about tipping rules?
No.
Oh.
I'm asking about oh man, yeah, Halloween I guess is one of the ones that okay, so like July 4th is one of these, Halloween is one of these, like so if July 4th falls in the middle of the week, which weekend do you party? Like that's what I'm saying. Or if Halloween falls in the middle of the week, which weekend do you party? It's the one before, right?
It's always
not the one after,
because after
that is too fucking done. Stupid,
it's
right?
Already over.
It's
already over.
But it's always good to have an excuse to party anyways. So if you party on that weekend, it's fine, but I guess your chance to dress up and everything, shoot fireworks and all that stuff, it's before, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know what other holidays do that, honestly, but Halloween is the only one I honestly give a fuck about, to be honest.
I mean, if you do it after, honestly, it's over,
what do you do? Do you do anything big for Christmas? Do you have a Christmas deal that you do?
The family stuff.
Do you like buy a lot of gifts? Do you spend your whole paycheck on stuff?
I got a kid, so yeah.
I know you, but yeah. Well, the thing is for me is I think that you should just buy gifts and do shit all the time. I don't want, if I had a kid, that's interesting because I've never received a gift from you. So yeah, this is an interesting philosophy that you have. I don't really like many people that much. The gift. The number one gift. Honestly, no. I like everybody so much. I don't have enough to give. And honestly, the best gift is my presence. That's to be honest,
more than enough. Sometimes too much.
I think it's too much most of the time, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, you only get one shot.
Oh snap!
Yeah. All right.
Don't lose it.
Yeah, that's
don't lose your
good
shot.
bar related meme I found. Anyways. Okay, yeah, so, I mean, I don't know, I think genuinely, if you have a significant other, that's why I hate Valentine's Day, I really do, because I think that too many people expect stuff for Valentine's Day, and if you don't get somebody something on Valentine's Day, they get so upset or whatever, and if you're a person that gets upset, or you're a person that, honestly just values materialistic things over above anything else, go fuck yourself, but with that being said, donate to our Patreon so I can buy things for myself and continue to give the gift of my love to people that I see every day. But
it's a very
yeah.
interesting philosophy.
Anyways, Halloween weekend is a great one for the bars. So yeah, I don't know, man. What did you see this weekend? Did you work all this weekend?
Yeah, I worked, but it wasn't really Halloween related. You know, we're doing at Gas Monkey. We're doing the Guar thing, so that is more than enough Halloween themed related event for several years.
Well, obviously, Halloween still applies to the night of. I'm not saying that you can only party on the weekend before, but it obviously, if you're a fucking adult, you know, you can show up to work with a hangover. It's fine, you know. But I'm just saying that. You know, so yeah, Guar is playing on Thursday. I'll be there.
Guar is going to be pretty amazing.
I'll be there for that show. If you don't know who Guar is,
reevaluate your life.
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty cool. They kind of sound to me like, geez, I'm getting the hiccups. Ah, they kind of sound to me. They kind of sound to me. Yeah, they sound like they sound like kind of like Kiss. You know what I mean? Don't they?
I guess.
I feel like
maybe a modern.
They sound like Kiss,
more hardcore.
Yeah, but they're
more gory version.
Yeah, but they dress up like this, dude. You know.
Oh, I know.
I'm telling you.
Scary monsters, and they don't just do this on Halloween. They do this shit year round.
Yeah, this is who they are. Last year when I saw them, it was really great. They did this. They had this whole like Donald Trump thing, and the guy, he came out, and they were like, two of them were ripping apart Donald Trump, and one of them ripped off like his whole front, and then blood was spewing everywhere.
That's pretty racy.
And no, it's pretty good.
I mean, Kathy Griffin lost her career for less.
Yeah. So you sent me that video, Tony Hinchcliffe, which was great. I mean, I love that guy. But here's what I support. You know, this, I'm going to tell you what I support.
Tell me what you
support. And this is all I'm going to say as far as this is just not what this podcast is about. But all I'm going to say as far as anything is concerned about politics or whatever, I'm just like, you do you, I do me. If you're not affecting me, I don't give a fuck what you do. If you want to go and you want to do shit that doesn't affect me, that does not bother me. You know what I mean? If you want to go and you want to rip apart Donald Trump on stage, or you want to rip apart Hillary Clinton on stage, or whatever you want to do, because I think they actually had some shit in there about that too, honestly.
Probably.
They don't, nobody gets a break. That's how I feel like. Nobody gets a break for me. If I'm making fun of somebody or we're roasting somebody,
everybody.
I roast myself.
Everybody gets
I
a
roast
turn.
you. I roast that guy. I roast that guy. I roast that chick. I roast the dog. Everybody gets a piece, all right? There's a big pie. Everybody's getting a slice. I don't give a fuck, dude. You know, I will... And I think that's how it really should be, you know. And if you're roasting
comedy, that's how comedy.
If you're roasting your friend, that you're good friends. You know what I mean? Like that's how it's always been.
Right, for sure.
You know, that's how it's always been when I was growing up, and I think they need to bring that shit back. So, Jesus, man, Doobie, go.
What's the other one?
So, anyways, that's my dog.
I mean,
my dog's name is Doobie. Jesus, man, they keep moving this camera. Guys, get out of here.
Edit that out. Yeah, no, but political correctness has been for a long time been, I guess, out of check, out of control.
Yeah, anyways. Yeah, I get this distracting ass dog. All right. I should have got some fucking bone treats or something. Okay. Jesus, dude. You guys are really ruining this. What do you want? What do you want? Get out of here. Go. Go. Come on. Come on. You need to go on here?
Follows you right back in.
Hey, go. Please. Anyways, all right.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not you're a conservative or a liberal, political correctness is definitely some people have taken political correctness out of control.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like not even that. It's just everything. Everything is just, I mean, everybody's always offended at stuff or whatever. I feel like this is also, people are also just rubbing this like into the fucking, I feel like most people don't care, to be honest. Most people share the same kind of view that I have probably, or that you have. Or
you don't care about people getting offended.
Well, it's just like most people just don't really get offended. There's a small percentage of people that get offended to begin with, and we're all really on the same page. And so, I don't know. I mean, I'm just gonna, I'll take that to the bar. I'll relate that to the bar. I think the bar is one of the last free places where you can literally say anything, do it, whatever.
For sure.
And so, it was hilarious because, at Truck Yard, it turns 21 and up after 9. So, like, you can really pretty much say whatever the fuck you want, honestly, as long as as long as it's not violent, right, I guess. That's where people used to draw the line, violence. Like, I'm going to kill you or something or whatever, that's probably not that cool,
or
right?
yelling fire in a crowded theater.
I don't know. That's probably not that cool, is it?
No.
But, other than that, everything should be pretty fine. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're just being hateful, but, so there's this dude that came up, and it was actually not even before 9. It was not even after 9. It was before 9. It was like, midday yesterday, and this couple was getting drunk. Of course, is what you do at a bar, right? And then he comes up, and there's people. There's people waiting. I had a little bit of a line going on here. There was like 4 people kind of looking at the menu and thinking about what they want to drink, and then these two. I made him super happy or whatever about something. I suggested this beer. And he was looking for a certain kind of beer, and I was just like,
doing
my job, and then he was like, oh man, he just like was so excited about that, and I just became his best friend, which is when you're drunk, everybody's like your best friend,
right.
And then he looked at me, he was like, he's like, oh man, he first he told me he was digging my nose ring or whatever, he was with his girlfriend, I don't know,
please don't.
Yeah, and then he was like, I like that. He's like, you really pull that off or whatever. I was wearing my aviators and nose ring or what. I don't know, man. I look like
he was jocking your style.
I look like I have a style, I guess. You know what I mean? Whatever. And then then he comes back and he gets another one of those beers. Like, you already know what I like, man. And I'm like, yeah, I sure do. I mean, because there's not hundreds of people ordering for me, but yeah, I did remember. And then so I got him another beer, and then he told me, he's like, man, and he just looked at me and he was like, this is my guy right here. He just like told his girl, he's like, this is my guy right here.
He remembered the beer I ordered 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's so hilarious, And then he's just like, he's like, man, this guy. You look like you just have the potential for pussy, bro, is what he told me. And then there's these 4 people waiting right there. And like, he's just like, and then like, I look at them and I'm just like, and they're older, people, probably in their late 40s or so, and then this guy is like probably younger than me, but he was like, you look like you just have the potential for pussy,
I don't know, man. If they're 40, I hope that they've heard or hopefully seen a pussy by this point.
I'm not saying, I just think this is my whole point, is that it's just like the bar is the last place where you can just say stuff. And
the last refuge of free speech.
And nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Besides a comedy club, but then comedy clubs have been being hit, hard. All these comedians, being taken down for stuff that they've said or whatever. But it's comedy. A lot of the stuff that comes out of my mouth, I don't even fucking mean. You know what I mean? I'm actually a pretty mild mannered guy, like a pretty nice guy. I mean,
except when I'm making a joke.
But yeah, it's like it's stuff that's funny. It's not meant to be. None of it's really meant to be hurtful. Yeah. And even that Tony Hinchcliffe joke you sent me. Now that is
Helen Keller.
Yeah, that's ironic. It's hilarious. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you can't laugh about shit like that, Like, people joke about Texans having horses riding a horse to work and shit. If you can't laugh about stuff like that, if you get offended, because somebody says something like that,
you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, it's just like you need to relax. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's the whole point. The bar is like one of the last refuges, not refugees, but I don't know what I'm saying, refuges.
I think that's right.
Is that right?
Sounds right.
Refuge. The bar is the last.
The Fugees.
The Fugees.
It's the last Fugees.
Yeah, it's the last Fugees. Place where you can say kind of what you want to say. And,
cool name for a movie.
That's what I like.
When you started this little diatribe with like, this isn't really what this is about. But honestly, like in the bar, you talk about everything. You know what I mean? So like, this show can literally be about anything.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Because bar talk is so versatile and so all encompassing that, you know what I mean? Like, no topic can be off limits here because that's bar talk.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I had a kind of a crazy weekend. I mean, I've talked. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I had a couple of conversations like that with Friday night. I was at Truck Yard and it was raining and stuff, and so nobody comes there when it rains.
Right.
Like, it's mostly outside,
mostly outside,
and then there's a small portion that's inside, and then upstairs is like just covered, but it's outside still. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
it's for the sunny days, not the rainy days.
Yeah, so it was dead, and so I had plenty of time to talk to people. So I had I remember having a conversation kind of like this with one of the people that came in because I mean, it's with what we do, it's mostly high volume, and then even at a music venue, you can't really hear people talk, but when you get the chance, we still do that. It's still very much a part of our job. So I was kind of talking with them about how, like, people get drunk. They were saying, they said something about babysitting or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I mean,
drunk people,
welcome to my life, and I was like, I told this guy, I was like, yeah, it's funny when you're born, you don't really know how to do anything. You can barely see, everything you hear is new. You can't talk. You don't understand the concept of what going to the bathroom is. All this kind of stuff. You shit yourself, piss yourself. You need help doing whatever. You can't walk. You can't even hold your head up. And it's like, so then you grow up. You kind of gradually learn how to do all these things. You learn to talk. You learn stuff that you hear is repeated. You start to understand things. You can start to walk around. You can eat and drink on your own. I don't know. And then you turn into an adult, and then everything is cool. And then when you drink, you gradually regress back to the state that you get drunk. After every drink, it's like then you have problems talking. Then so yeah, I can't remember. I'm still having camera problems. One day this will be fixed. I don't fucking understand. If anybody can help me figure out how to use this GoPro and make it not stop recording every second, that'd be cool. Anyways, yeah. So it's funny how you get the drunker you get, you just keep going back down this path to where eventually you can't use the bathroom by yourself. Like, you can't fucking you can't even walk anymore. All that shit. It's just hilarious. That we all make, like you said, a conscious effort to do this,
to regress back
every
infancy.
Weekend.
Every weekend. I mean, some of us regress back farther every weekend than others.
Well, yeah, I mean, what if you're a bartender? Maybe you do that every day. I don't know. I did that last night. I went to Lone Star Taps and Caps again. Got me some Velvet Hammer after work, and hit that hammer.
Hit that hammer.
But shit's good. But anyways, I had this guy. I talked to this guy about that, and then so I had this couple. They Saturday night we had this costume contest, and some people got extra drunk that night, and this guy was with his girlfriend. I guess it was like her 25th birthday or something, he said, and which, by the way, if you're just an outsider looking in on this scenario, don't ever do this. Like, I don't understand why people they just lose all their faculties. Like, why? You know, I'm never a guy that when I go out and get completely fucked up, I lose my mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and if you get like that, you need to understand that you get like that and don't do that.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
Some people after a couple drinks, well, I mean, it's everybody, but after a couple drinks, like, you start drinking and you don't even taste it anymore. You know what I mean? You don't even realize, like, where you're going. And some people just can't. Once they've got a couple drinks, it's like it's over. I don't have any self-control. I don't have any, you know what I mean? So it's like some people just cannot drink without going to that point. You know what
I mean? I understand that. But if you know that you do that, don't.
Then fucking don't.
Yeah, just don't.
Yeah,
do it. I mean, I'm not saying that none of that is true. Not true. I'm just saying that there are people that do that. Like, I used to work with this guy, and I took a break from the service industry for about a year doing sales and, you know, working in a call center basically or whatever, and trying that whole sitting in a chair for 10 hours a day kind of lifestyle, which is fucking awful. And maybe then I do understand why you need to get like this, actually, but why you need to get that fucked up. But this guy, he was a recovering alcoholic. He'd been sober for, I don't know, maybe 20 years. He was in his late 50s. But he had he was married, had kids, had a house, had everything, nice car, everything in the suburbs, everything that you want as a typical motherfucking puzzle piece of American society he had. And then, he was hitting the bottle harder and harder and harder and harder. And then he lost everything, and then and the number one thing that he told me is that he's just like, I just could not control myself. And so I understand. But he also, at the same time, made the conscious effort to pull himself out of that scenario.
Right.
So it's like, you can always, if you feel like you can't control yourself, don't do it.
It's like, I wonder what portion of our business would disappear if everybody was taking this advice, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I feel like 90% of the people that come to the bar, though,
do it responsibly.
Right. You know what I
Right.
mean, I think that they really do, because there gets to a certain point where if you're not responsible, you end up like that guy, and then your whole everything that you ever have goes away.
Or DWIs, or
and I have one of those.
Or people killed.
I have a DWI too, and it's like, so ever since I got that, I'm fearful of driving, and that's shitty. It shouldn't be like that. I should have already, been responsible, but like. Ever since I got that shit, I am super conscious of when I drink and how much I drink and where, if I'm driving and all that kind of shit, man. So
yeah, man, you don't want to lose your shit.
Yeah, I feel like I've lost a lot of it already.
Right.
And there's so much. You know what I'm saying?
I meant like your license and stuff.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I've lost shit and had to get it back.
Yeah.
And then now that I have it back, I don't want to lose it again.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what these other maybe. 10%. I don't know. I'm making these numbers up. Who knows? But I'm saying that a lot of people do it responsibly.
Scientific studies have not been conducted on this information.
And then nowadays, we got Uber and stuff like that, and Lyft, and all that crap. There's so many options for you to be responsible, and that's
DFW got a whole public transportation system. It's amazing.
That's wonderful.
The rail runs to like 1:00 downtown.
But yeah. So, anyways, I had this couple, and it was so. We have this toilet seat museum, like I've mentioned, and before, and it's like an indoor area. It's getting kind of cooler. We don't have heaters installed yet, so there are some people chilling in this toilet seat museum, and which is great. It's cool.
Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Toilet seat museum. Is that what we're talking about here?
I've mentioned.
I just want to clarify what we're talking about.
Yeah, I've mentioned this on the last podcast.
Okay. Obviously was not paying attention.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait. I think I remember what you're talking about now.
Yeah. So I don't know. This is what I'm gonna pull this up here. Yeah. So there's this guy. I don't want to get too much into it, but he had a toilet seat museum. They just decorated all these toilet seats with art and shit. And he's a really old guy. We wanted to buy some of the toilet seats for decoration. He was like, why don't I just sell you all my toilet seats because I'm going to die. Like, literally, this is what this guy said. And then, 2 weeks
That's
after.
literally what he said?
Yeah, it is. Because when you, listen.
That went from funny to being sad.
No, I mean, I don't. 97 years is a fucking long time. This guy had a fucking awesome life, dude.
Yeah.
And some of his family came to, we had a memorial actually at Truck Yard for the guy because about 2 weeks.
Oh, he passed away.
Yeah, about 2 weeks after we opened, he passed away. Yeah, which is ironic. It's like he sold all of his life's work. Not, this is like a hobby, I guess, for the guy. He's retired and shit. But it's like for this guy. Had 1,400 toilet seats is what we have in there. You know what I mean?
Definitely a unique forum.
It's a lot of shit.
That's a lot of shit.
And then, but it's like after your hobbies are kind of what I feel like hobbies are like what people identify with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's what you identify yourself with. Like, what do you like to do? Because then your friends, like you hang out with the people kind of listen to the same music as you. Maybe you kind of hang out with the people that kind of like football, or you hang out with you like to watch Champions League soccer. You hang out
tied to your personal identity.
Exactly, and it's all tied into who you are as a person. So this guy identified with this toilet seat museum, obviously, because then he
created it.
He sold it, and then is obviously it's tragic when anybody passes away, and stuff. But I feel like he lived a cool life. It's just kind of like he was just signing out. You know what I mean? He's like I've lived it, I've done it, I'm good.
I got more people to see all my shit.
Yeah, he sold it away.
Everybody look at my shit.
And he sold it away or sold it off and he passed away. And, it's a story. I mean, he was a cool guy, from what I understand.
I mean, he looks like a pretty cool guy.
And so we have that. We have a toilet seat museum that doubles as our special events area up at Truck Yard upstairs. And so anyway, these people were chilling inside this toilet seat museum area.
I would get married there.
And dude, I mean, there's a lot of times where I have almost married the porcelain throne from nights out of drinking, so we this chick that was with him was literally so fucked up. She was like laying on the floor. And we didn't discover this until like way later. He came up to me, and what spiraled this into motion is we found this, chick. There were some other people in there, and they came up and was like, "Yeah, this chick is laying on the floor in there, dude. She looks kind of sick." And
in the toilet seat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so these other people came up and told us this or whatever. So then then we asked him, we're like, "You're gonna have to get you out of here, because we got security up there too and everything like that." Shout out to the security staff; they're really great. And so we, we're trying to get these people out of there, and then. So the guy comes up and he's like, "Man, I can't find," he's like, "My buddy, I can't find my phone. It was in my coat, I think. I gave my buddy my coat and my buddy left, and we're still here. And now I don't have a way to get home. I don't have a car. We Ubered here." He's like, "I don't know how to call an Uber." And so I'm like, "Oh, fuck." And I actually lost my credit card in Colorado and still haven't got a new one. So fuck you, Capital One. I don't know where it is. I don't understand why I don't have a card yet, but I asked for one. And so I have money in my bank, but I have no card. And so I told the guy, I was like, "Well, here, I'm going to have to put your credit card in the app, and I'm trying to close. I'm trying to get out of there. This is like 1:45 a.m.,
Right.
And I'm trying to get out of there, and do my stuff. And then I'm having to help this fucking poor drunk guy whose girlfriend is lying on the floor, who is dying, in there. And then, which is just, like I said before, just don't do that.
Just
don't get to this point.
Right.
Just please, just don't do it. There's no reason to do this. And then so, you're
not increasing the fun anymore after a certain point.
So I called him a lift, and then 4 minutes till the lift gets there, and it's a big place, so it's kind of a long walk to get to where the lift goes. You have to walk around and go up this ramp and shit. And so I was like, "Dude, I went in the toilet seat museum, and then I couldn't find him, and then so one of the barbacks is like, there's this chick and this dude in the men's bathroom, or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ." So I go in there and I opened up the door, and then he's helping her. She's barfing, in the toilet,
of course,
and I'm like, "Hey, the lift is about to get here, dude," and then so I did that, and I just closed the door, and then I'm like, Jesus Christ.
So wait, did you order them a Lyft like from your phone?
Yes, because they didn't have a phone.
That's amazing of you to do.
And I didn't, and I'm just saying, nothing for me. He didn't tip me or nothing.
Really? What a douche.
And I'm like, I don't get paid enough for this. $2.13 an hour. Right. You know, and I'm trying to leave. And
just out of the goodness of your heart. It's one of those gifts that you give people on a daily basis.
See what I mean? See what I mean? And so then anyways, after the barfing and everything like that, like he's literally having to carry this bitch. And so so I'm like, so I get mad at the guy. I'm like, yo, dude, I called you this Lyft and I'm going to get a shitty rating because it's on my account.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever. And like, I'm doing you this favor here, dude. And you're fucking me.
Yeah,
you know?
that would really suck if she threw up in the back, because then like that's a whole bunch of money they're gonna charge you.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, I have his card still on there. Yeah. So.
I think it's like $200. You know what I mean?
Oh Jesus. Yeah. So.
Oh wait, you used his card to call.
Yeah.
Oh okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
But it's still my account.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
so
I get you.
The rating reflects on me.
I get you.
So, anyways, I got mad about that, and yeah, that was the most crazy thing that's happened this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, you know, I don't really know the whole point of this, but the thing is just like, it's like if you get to this point, I was just saying that, you know, it's like when I get drunk, I don't lose my shit like this. I'm like, you know, it's like I know where my phone is at all times. Like I gotta know how I'm getting home.
Right.
Like I gotta have these things on my mind.
You plan,
you know,
ahead
like
of time.
I don't just go out and just lose my mind. You know, like and if you just don't do that, you know, and maybe this guy learned a lesson. You know,
you can hope.
I gotta say, honestly, there's never been a time where I have lost my mind when I've been out, though. You know, like there's not a time where I've lost where I've done shit like that.
No,
you know,
I can.
Where
there has been that time
where I didn't have a way home.
Like I learned a lesson from it.
Where I didn't have a way home. I didn't whatever. And so I look at these people. I'm like, this poor bastard. You know, I'm like, there's an overpopulation issue, and obviously maybe this motherfucker can be the ones when there's a apocalypse, you know, he could be dinner. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. It's just like there's just people who just don't have any common sense, and we see that all the time in this job. You know, and
absolutely.
I'm just like,
I had a guy this week. You know, I poured his drink. He asked me for tall, you know, like Jack and Coke tall, whatever. So I poured in a tall glass, and he looks at me. He's like, "Is that a tall?" And I'm like, yeah, that's a tall. That's our tall glass. And so he pays for it by credit card, and he leaves without signing it. So as he's walking away, I pick it up and I see it's not signed. Obviously, no tip either. So I follow him back into the smoking area where he's off, you know, doing his little thing. And so I walk up to him, I'm like, "Hey man, I got to get you to sign this." And he just looks at me and then just walks past me. So he walks past me, and I walk up to him, and I'm like, no, dude, you have to sign this. And so his wife is like, what's going on? Sign what? What's he doing? Why is he signing his life away? Blah, 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 whatever. I was like, no, this is just his bar receipt. He has to sign this. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And so she takes the receipt from me, and the guy looks at me, and he's like, well, it wasn't you, but the guy who served me the drink was a douche. And I was like, no, that was me. It was, yeah, I was the one talking to you. And he's just like, well, so, you know, his wife signs it, gives me a tip, you know, which I was thankful for. And then I just kind of walk away. But I just thought it was hilarious. He's like, no, he's so wasted. Like, he doesn't even know who the fuck served him a drink literally like 30 seconds ago. And like, I have this massive beard, so there's not like any way to,
you look like
mistake me for someone else.
You look like Poseidon or some shit.
I am Poseidon.
Yeah. Poseidon.
Or some type of Greek god.
Yeah. The Greek god of drinking beer and eating McDonald's.
There you go.
Me too.
That's what's up.
Actually.
I like that.
Me too, actually.
If there could be a Greek god for that, I would apply for that position.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks, man. Yeah, I hate people like that, you know. It's just you know, it's you know, at some point though I get, you know, there was a time, and I honestly think it was within the last couple years, you know, that where I just realized that there are going to be people who aren't going to tip you, and then there are going to be people that tip you really well.
Yeah.
And that doesn't excuse the people who don't tip you, because it's crazy. A lot of times it seems to line up with the people that don't tip want the most shit.
Right.
But
absolutely.
But at the same time, though, I just I just try not to be mad about it, because there's just really no benefit to being mad.
It's not going to do any good.
But it's just like one thing, that people don't understand too is that if you don't sign that credit card receipt, you can dispute the charge.
Right.
Like you have to sign that credit card receipt or else because ultimately you're not going to win because we have cameras and you can obviously see the guy getting the beer and you can see, but it's like there are people that are stupid enough.
If the bar even bothers to fight it, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's more trouble than it's worth for like a $25 bill kind of thing.
I'm just saying though, there are that's why you do that. You have to sign that receipt because and then you ever get those drunk people who are like, can you just sign this for me and put a tip there? I'm like, no, I'm not absolutely not doing that.
No.
Yeah, that's absolutely very illegal. Now I'll tell you what I want from that tab. But
I'll write the tip in as long as you sign. That'll work.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, no. It's like you write this tip. I'm going to tell you what I want.
Yeah.
You write it all though.
I'm pretty sure that as long as they sign it, it's still legit.
Yeah. I guess you're absolutely not supposed to write that tip in there, dude. Yeah. Absolutely not supposed to do that. I think there was man. It was a place
better safe than sorry.
It was a place like Applebee's, which is just a horrible trash place. I think they're coming out with $1 Long Island's on special now. I think I saw this ad for them.
What are they just going to reduce the alcohol even lower, or what?
That they use at Applebee's. They use that Long Island in one bottle.
It's awful. It's terrible.
You ever had that before?
I mean, I've had the Applebee's Long Island's because I was like $2 Long Island's, hell yeah, and then you drink them and you're like
sweet and sour.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But you're drinking that. It's that all-in-one bottle, Long Island bottle, and it's just fucking disgusting.
Really is.
Alone, and
really
Long Island's disgusting.
I mean, as long as it's made right.
If the only way,
it's mostly liquor.
The only way I would drink a Long Island's if it's all top shelf. I want Tito's, Bombay, Grand Marnier. All the good shit.
Nothing but
Bacardi,
the good stuff for you.
All that stuff. Yeah, well, that's the only way I would drink a Long Island. I'm just saying. Otherwise, if you're
or as every bar guest orders it as a Strong Island.
Yeah, no, there's a specific type of bar guest that orders a Strong Island. That's the person who's not going to tip you.
Sure. Exactly.
Like, yo, hook it up on that Long Island. Okay, yeah, cool. Fuck you, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like it's already a cheap garbage drink for a cheap garbage person. Yeah. Like, and what are you gonna do for me? Why should I hook you up if I'm risking my shit? If I'm risking my job, I'm risking all kinds of law. You can't pour more than so many 3 ounces of alcohol, I think, in a drink here via the TABC, and then you're like, I don't know, man.
In Texas, anyway.
So yeah,
for our non-Texas
keyword
future
TABC,
viewers.
Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission. They're real bastards. Shout out to the TABC. Fuck y'all.
Maybe we'll get them to sponsor us one day.
Yeah, so that'd be great. Yeah, there was this one place I worked at called Down Under. Shout out to that place. I was in Fairview, Texas, which is a tiny piece of shit little town right across the street from Allen. Yeah. Anyways,
kind of town that has Australian themed bars.
Yeah. So, I don't even fucking know, bro, about that whole. Nothing there was nothing there was Australian themed.
Really?
Like I don't know why they called it the Down Under because it was originally like the Down Under pub.
Yeah.
They had one over by the mall.
They're like, we serve fish and chips,
now it's
mate.
Yeah, they did have fish and chips, and it was
fucking
good.
British.
But that's not Australian. Like, what is Australian? Like, what even is Australian cuisine? I want to look this shit up.
Foster's.
I don't even fucking know.
We
Foster's
sell
is like the Bud Light of fucking Australia.
They hate
fucking
it there.
hate Foster's.
Yeah. But in Australia, it's not even a popular drink.
No.
I don't even know if they sell it in Australia.
I mean, Vegemite. Yeah, that's one thing. Chicken Parmigiana.
Yeah.
Classic
what? That's
Austrian,
Italian.
Classic Aussie chicken dish. Here, I'll pull it up on here.
Wait, you're telling me chicken parmesan is a classic Australian
barbecued snags, aka sausages, a burger with the lot.
Italian.
meat
A
pies.
burger with a lot.
Okay, Australia. Let me just say this about Australia. You guys sound like a bunch of fucking posers. I'm just gonna tell y'all because your fucking immigration rules suck. I'd like to move there, but yeah, I can't.
And if any of you disagree, you should come up to the Northern Hemisphere and fight us, you fucking cunts.
For sure. You fucking dingo babies. Anyways, yeah. So I remember. I'll never forget. So this place was huge, right? We had live music like all the fucking time, and big bands on the weekends. Like I don't know if anybody from like Dallas area will know bands like Limelight, Big Richard. God damn it, I can't remember. There's a couple other bands that are like major cover bands. Like they have like 8 members. They do really great. They're actually really great bands, but they have a big bill. You know, $2,000, $5,000 or something like that, maybe to book these bands.
Right.
You know, and so on the weekends, yeah, I would get crazy busy. I mean, you know, you'd have an 8 to 12 table section. Most people would kind of just chill and hang out. Some people would turn over. The food wasn't the best. It was actually pretty good though, but
as long as bar food's edible, you know what I mean?
No, it was above bar food. I mean, It was a cool place. The drinks we had actually really good bartenders, but during the week it was just dead. Mm-hmm. So they'd play, they would pay these bands all this money, and they really wouldn't have enough money to support that. So
right.
So anyways, I'll never forget. This is the last night I actually worked there. One of these guys that I was working. One of my coworkers. He I don't know exactly what the fuck happened with him. He just got fed up. It was actually like not a really well managed place. But so he got fed up. I think he had like a 30 or 40 top of people, that were all being douchebags. Then he had like a couple other tables, and the hostesses were shitty, and then everybody was. I think he just got fucked, slammed, whatever, and he just was like, "Fuck this place. I don't make enough money for this," and left.
Right.
And then he hands me my card, because he was kind of my buddy, and he handed me his card. He's like, "I'm leaving, you got to take these tables or whatever,
Fuck.
And I'm like, no way, dude.
No.
So then I have like 5 or 6 tables myself.
Yeah.
And then I go over, and then it's just like all these people had ordered stuff already. He didn't bring them the stuff. And then they're like, I'm waiting on this, or we're together, I'm waiting on this, we're together. And it was all separate checks. Like they were all waiting on stuff. And so then I was like, okay, dude, I'm not dealing with this either. So,
I quit too.
I quit. But before he even quit and before I even quit, I'll never forget this. The TABC came in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, TABC came in, and I don't know where they get these people.
Sounds like a fucking manager's nightmare.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, the managers were drinking Jaeger in the fucking office all the time.
Lord, this was absolutely their worst nightmare.
This is absolute. Well, it's just they were always drunk, always, and anyways, the TABC, there's like 3 officers that come in, and they're just tall people, tall, so big, and I'm 6'2", and these people are like way up there, 6'7", 3 of them, all the same height.
That's strange.
And they wear these big flat bill caps. They look like game wardens. They have guns.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just, I don't know. I don't know where they got these people, because I've seen other TABC officers not like this.
And they weren't like
on this
stacked
day,
like these dudes.
I was like 19 years old.
They came in expecting trouble.
I was like 19 years old. This was the second place I ever served, and the first place I ever bartended, and I never have seen TABC. So then that left an impression.
This is your first
on me.
experience. You're like, Jesus Christ, these motherfuckers are serious.
Christ. Yeah, dude. And so they come in, and I guess the bar hadn't been paying the liquor tax.
Oh,
yeah. So they come in, or they haven't been paying their taxes, whatever
they
kind
were
of taxes.
coming in to shut it
They
down.
were coming in. So basically what they did was they came in, and they weren't coming in to shut it down. They came in, they went to every single register, took all the money. They went to the safe, took all the money, all the money that they had.
They came for a fucking shakedown, literally.
Yeah, they came and they took all the money in the place.
Oh.
So and then it was crazy. The very next night, that place closed.
I mean,
but
obviously.
My buddy quit. I quit that night, and then I still have never gotten paid from that place.
How do you recover from shit
I never
like
got
that
I never got whatever. I never got whatever money I was supposed to get that night. I mean, obviously I walked out, whatever. But I mean, I don't know, dude. So, but I used to get paychecks because that's how slow it was during the week.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be so slow where I'd actually get that minimum
That's
wage.
crazy. More than like a $5 paycheck. Totally.
But yeah. I mean, I would get like a $40 paycheck, and of course,
that's amazing.
I wanted it. I was like, I needed that.
Yeah.
But I was trying to buy drugs. I was 19 years old. So, yeah. Anyways, that's yeah. I don't know. I always lose my train of thought on these things, on the original points, but I don't even smoke, so I just suck, but yeah, it's I don't know.
So there was something interesting that happened at the Gas Monkey Bar and Grill. I wasn't there for it, but we're saying names, right? We can say people's names.
I don't know.
Well, D from Gas Monkey Live, who also works at Gas Monkey Bar and Grill. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
So he was working the bar, and some super shady guy came in and was just kind of chilling, hanging out. And, he asked him, he was like, "Can I get you a drink?" And he's like, "No, man, I just need a lighter." So he asked him for a lighter like 2 or 3 times. He had to be like, "No, dude, I don't smoke. I already told you multiple times."
Yeah.
So anyway, a ticket pops up, and he has to turn around to make a drink. And within like several seconds, someone had come in and was like, "Hey, did he just take your phone?" And so super shady guy that was just chilling at the front, D jumps over the bar and goes to chase after him. And the guy, drops his phone and takes off his backpack and just takes off. And so he picks up the backpack, gets his phone, picks up the backpack. There's a bunch of phones in there.
Oh.
So like this dude was just kind of chilling up front, looking for something to jack. But
damn.
That's
okay,
that's kind of crazy shit.
Yeah,
that
we could say somebody's name. I just don't know. I didn't know if you're gonna talk trash about.
No, I wasn't talking trash. But
Yeah.
it was Derek. He was talking about.
No.
Told me this story. I just figured
Yeah.
it would be a interesting little.
Wow,
there.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one time I was working.
So watch out up at Gas Monkey.
Yeah.
On the
Have you ever had
on the slow hours?
Have you ever had your tip jar stolen?
No. Where?
Had-
Dev, you where?
Yeah, so I worked in Austin. I worked at the original Pluckers on West Campus.
Oh yeah. They're usually they're pretty cheap, right?
We went to Pluckers the other day.
Yeah, I mean it was actually
horrible.
I mean,
I had like a
expensive. It was
$50 tab.
Oh, you did? Wow,
Or
it was like $25.
$40 tab.
Oh, you got a bunch of shit.
I got a bunch of shit, and I had the bunch of shits after that. I had to call into work the next day after that because I felt like I got sick.
Really?
I felt like that place made me sick.
Damn.
I love Pluckers, dude. I love their food. I
got
don't
the
know.
habanero shit, and I felt fine.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I mean, here's the fucked up thing, is we all work in restaurants, or the people that all work in restaurants, we eat that food all the time when we work there, but we usually never go there after we stop working there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, my dog keeps moving this camera. So, I'm not going to cut that out, though. I don't give a shit. But anyways, so it's like we never really... most of us don't really elect to go back and eat the food.
Yeah, it took me years to go back to Fridays, even though Fridays food is still really good.
But but I love Pluckers though. It's so good. Their wings are so great, you know. And but I've seen things in that kitchen, where but it's like every kitchen. I don't know, dude. I've done things in my kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Like I've legitimately dropped a steak on the floor that I was cooking, and just picked it up, washed it off in the sink, and put it right back in the pan at my house.
You're what I mean? Killing all the bacteria.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Fire.
I don't know if you know where a steak comes from and what the cows do before. And then and then it's just raw meat, and
it certainly ain't pretty.
And it's all that shit. Like you're not really supposed to eat a raw steak, right? So you're by cooking it, you're supposed to be killing germs, right? So if I drop it on the floor, it's probably the least amount of my worries, right? I'm just saying.
Hopefully,
hopefully, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got a lot of food there. That was the only dinner I had. Or only food I ate for the rest of that day because I just kind of ate one meal and was just like fuck it. But then I woke up, I was like shitting my brains out all night and stuff, and I'm just there's no other reason, there's no other excuse.
Couldn't be anything but Pluckers
other than that food. I'm just saying, like if it was
maybe they'll be our sponsor as well.
If it was a scientific
eat Pluckers and shit your brains out.
If it was a scientific experiment. I had a control group, I had an experimental group, I had a hypothesis, and I got these results.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so then I had to call in that night at Gas Monkey, actually, because I was just like, I was so sick. Anyways, I worked down there and actually, I could go with it. Was cheap because so it was like kind of right across the street from where the Longhorns played. So they would go over to the stadium and pass all these 5 free wing coupons.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
so
I got a couple of those.
We had a big party, or not party. We had a big patio, and so. And every time the restaurant would get full, because it was a tiny restaurant, every time the restaurant would get full, then the patio would get packed. And a lot of times we wouldn't have servers on the patio. Like they would get cut. But like after every game, we had to stock up because literally after the game would let out, every time the place would just get slammed with people. You know what I mean? They would just come in and it would be bananas. And the whole patio would pack up, and everybody would come in, and you just have to order one item that's $1.99 or more. So,
and that's all you have to do to stay to watch the game.
Yeah, so you get it. No, not even. I'm just saying these are people that got out of the game.
Oh, okay.
And they get the 5 free wing coupons, and they come after the game, and you just have to order one thing to get 5 free wings. They would do a side of fries, which came out to $2.44, a water, and 5 free wings, and it was fucking insane. I didn't make much money there, and fuck all you college kids. You need to learn how to tip with daddy's money because it's fucking expensive at UT, and I know your family's got money, and I want some of that. There's
honestly, like, you're tipping for the service, like for us serving you shit. You get a fucking water, like even if you get a goddamn water, I took the time to pour you a water instead of pouring a drink for a paying guest. You know what I mean? Like I could, if you want a fucking water and you don't want to get ignored, if you want anything, you know what I mean?
And here's a funny thing. It's like, this is something I feel like. So I go to we go out places, we go to bars or whatever, and it's like, do you ever catch yourself cleaning up after yourself?
Oh, absolutely.
I stack the plates and clean up everywhere or whatever, and I'm not really going to stop doing that. But I went to go get the beer last night. I stayed there for a second, had a couple of beers. I wanted to try this the Petty Colas makes a beer called the Ghost of Alfred Brown. It's a ghost pepper specialty spice beer. Oh my god, I'm telling you what, dude, that's a really good beer. And you know what I immediately actually thought of when I was drinking it? I thought it'd be badass to do like a bloody beer with that, like with some Zing Zang and some salt and shit or
Zigzag. Right?
Zing Zang.
Is it Zing Zang?
Yeah, 100% Zing Zang. Please don't misrepresent this entire podcast by not even knowing what you're talking about. Please, no, I'm just kidding. It's Zing Zang, yeah, for sure. I love it because when I get
I hate that shit.
when I drink it, or like when I drink a lot and I'm super hungover and have to work a morning shift, I'd like to drink the Zing Zang. It's like really delicious. But anyways, and I know there's people out there like me, and I know there's people out there like you. And
who don't like that shit.
Anyways, but so it's all gravy, baby. Anyways, so I thought it'd be badass to do like a Michelada, with like that Ghost of Alfred Brown. Like it was not heavy. It was not, but it was like an amber colored beer. It was really good, man.
Yeah, no, I mean it seems like the base of the tomato would kind of take away from the spicy of the pepper, right?
No, because Zing Zang's got a little bit of kick to it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
But the beer had a little bit of kick to it as well, and I thought it'd just be perfect. You just have to try it. But if you don't like the Zing Zang, it's just not. This whole thing is just not going to be for you. But
beer.
But if the beer, probably, yeah. But it's called Ghost of Alfred Brown. Petty Colas makes it. I know most of them are just known for the Velvet Hammer.
Who's Alfred Brown?
I have no idea. Let's look that up.
All right.
Yeah, I have no clue. And I actually was asking myself this, but I didn't even care to look it up. And I also had a coconut beer as well, like a coconut porter. That was fucking good. I cannot remember who made that one. And then I got Prairie. Prairie makes a beer called Blueberry Boyfriend. It's a sour. It's fucking great. That's a pretty good beer by them. Well, I think well known, maybe, I don't know, but they had a strawberry sherbet on tap.
It's interesting.
Sour beer as well. I drank that, and that was fucking really good. So shout out to Prairie, because y'all are becoming one of my most favorite breweries. My favorite brewery of all time is Martin House, but ex-death row prisoner Alfred Brown Texas took a decade of Alfred Brown's life. It's time to. Oh, he was wrongfully convicted.
Interesting. So he's still alive though.
No, he's dead.
Oh, was he executed?
I don't know. Yeah, hold on a second.
Wow, it's kind of hardcore for a beer name.
Freed
brand.
death row inmate. Oh, he's freed.
Okay. Well, so he's.
But why did they call it?
I'm like
Ghost of Alfred Brown.
What? That's you would think that he would be not alive if there is a ghost of him. I don't know. Maybe it's just a political.
So
statement.
he was his wife. He's convicted of murdering his wife. 25 years he spent behind bars.
Wow.
Prison nearly 4 years ago.
It's definitely interesting. They would name the beer after him, especially since he's alive.
Yeah.
Probably just a political thing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Now that I look it up, I don't know. I feel satisfied.
Who'd you say the brewery was?
Petty Colas. That's who makes the Velvet Hammer.
Oh, okay.
And I like them. But they're one of those breweries. No offense to Petty Colas. I mean, you got a really great product in Velvet Hammer, but not much else is good. They didn't, in the aspect that you don't sell much. I know because I've talked to the reps. Y'all don't sell much other than Velvet Hammer anywhere. But Velvet Hammer though is an incredible beer,
right?
That is just a great beer. Unrivaled by a lot of beers. I mean, it's just. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I found another good beer by them, and I was super stoked about that because I just. But I just.
Sounds like a really good beer, the Ghost Pepper.
Yeah, it's actually really good. That coconut porter that I actually had was pretty good too. I've
had a coconut porter, but I haven't had theirs.
To get back to my whole thing that I was saying, though, I'm going to take this way back. I'm going to do a callback, what they call, in comedy here. I'm going to do a callback here, and So this guy, it was a lunch shift I was working on the weekend, and I don't know, it's hit or miss sometimes. It can be busy, it can be steady. I mean, I don't know. Austin's a pretty transient town. Like, not a lot of people that live in Austin are from Austin. People go out of town. People come into town. There's stuff that goes on, festivals, whatever. Like South by Southwest weekend, you get a lot of people that come in that are, from all over the place. ACL, all these festivals that they have all over the world. Yeah, you're right. And so it's just like, you just get all these different people. So, it could be busy at any time for no fucking reason. But on this particular day, it wasn't busy. So I was kind of just, bullshitting around the bar. And it's a very small bar, like 10-seat bar, and I would just be in the morning shifts. You're just by yourself, so everything you make, everything you do is all you, know. And I actually, there were times where I actually made pretty decent money there, but it just seems like the times that I worked the hardest, I didn't make shit. Right,
day shift is always
and
the worst,
they would close. They would close at 3, dude. They would close at 3 because in the bars close at 2. We wouldn't serve anything after 2, but we would serve food. Right. Like, we would try to cater to that after bar crowd, which made it even worse. These drunk people come in and drunk kids come in.
Right.
And I don't know if you're familiar with Austin, but you can take the bus down to 6th Street from West Campus. They have a few bus stops. Go down 6th Street, and then the last bus, I think, leaves like at 1:30 or 1:45 from 6th Street to take you back home. So you can just get completely obliterated down there, and you don't have to worry about nothing, which is actually a great model, for public transportation model to make sure people don't get in trouble. Like, it's pretty hard to get in trouble in Austin for drinking.
Right.
Like, it's pretty hard. Right. It's pretty difficult. You really have to really do some shit to drink. Like, I've walked down Guadalupe smoking weed before. And nobody cared, but you can get away with a lot because those homeless people, those homeless people really actually make a good living being homeless, and they're the nicest, most maintained homeless people, I feel like. The other day, it was at Loop 12 and 35 right there, and there was this dude who was like, man, he looked like it was. I felt really bad for the guy. Like, on one leg, he had like all these bandages and stuff, and like he just looked like he had pock marks all over his body. Like, he had chicken pox or some shit all over his fucking body. And I felt
picking at himself.
That's what
drugs,
I'm saying.
probably.
Yeah, and then But you know, and then he was like kind of limping along, and his leg was sideways. And I'm like, dude, this guy is like not got much longer to live, like for sure. You know what I mean? But then you go down to Austin, these guys are all playing guitar. They have dogs. Like they got cell phones. They're talking about Netflix shows with you or whatever. I'm just like, oh, dude, you cannot give cigarettes. Don't give money to these homeless people. They make good money. They just don't want to have. They don't want to live anywhere.
Well, I think a lot of people also come to Austin to busk. You know what I mean? To sit down with your guitar case out and play guitar.
Yeah, but these are not these people.
Yeah,
these are not these people. And I've done that.
They're sitting out there playing
guitar. And I've done that.
Yeah,
but it's just that they're all homeless. They carry around their guitars. They have nice camping gear and all this stuff. You know, and I'm like, they just choose to be homeless. That's what they choose. And yeah, so there was this guy that actually came in, you know, and he had a 5 free wing coupon, and he was a homeless guy, you know, because I could smell him. Yeah, he smelled bad, you know, and so he sat at the end of the bar, the very edge, and like the bar
where you had to walk all the way down to get to him, right? The
bar's pretty empty, you know, and then so he had his little, you know, whatever. I got him a water. He ordered a side of fries, ordered the wings. He wolfed that shit down. Then when he was done, he like, you know, I paid him out. He gave me cash or whatever, and you know, he gave me $3, of course, or whatever, you know. And then so I was coming back, and I was going to give him his change, and he grabbed my tip jar and ran out of the door.
Oh,
yeah, and it's a very small restaurant, so that place, that seat was right by like 5-10 feet from the door.
Yeah, that's why he.
You know, and then he ran out with the whole tip jar. You know, and I probably, and it was kind of earlier in the day. You know, so I probably had like $60 in there, $80 in there.
Shit, he made out like a fucking bandit.
Yeah.
I bet it's the last time you put that tip jar at the end of the bar, though.
People ask all the time. You know, why don't we have our tip jars at the bar at Gas Monkey? You know,
it was so like busy. When you asked for my tip jar jacked, it was like, no, I don't usually like put it in an area where you can reach it.
It gets so busy there, you know. And then you're doing other stuff. You can't pay attention.
No,
I mean, you know, and it's like I know that we have a lot of backup. We have security. We have people, you know, but
right.
And then even other bar guests, you know. But people ask, you know, why we don't put the tip jars out there. I'm like, yeah, because PTSD is, you know, it's just I've had my shit stolen, and once you have money stolen from you, everything changes. Like, you know, it's like once you add money into any relationship, any business, or any friendship, anything like that, it changes the whole dynamic of that relationship.
For sure.
No matter if you're family, if you're friends, if you're whatever, you know, it's like, and it's just, and it's sad sometimes, you know, but it's the same with if you've had anything like, okay, so for example, it's not bar related, but I used to work out at 24 Hour Fitness, and I'm going to put y'all on blast for a second because first of all, one of my friends got like a really bad infection from there and like spent a few days in the hospital because you don't clean your shit. Okay.
Right.
And then second, I went, I used, there you have to bring your own lock. And so, you know,
right.
And so like I use the locker rooms when I go to the gym. There are times where I like to bring my bag. I like to bring my stuff. I like to sit in the hot tub, maybe take a little dip in the pool, shower there, do the whole 9, get ready, change, you know, do my whole thing, and then just leave from the gym to go do whatever I'm going to do. You know what I mean? A lot of times I work out before I go to work. And so I'll, you know, pack all my stuff and I'll pack, you know, whatever. And then I'll go to the gym and do all my stuff and shower. And then, so I'm going to flip it. Lifetime is where I work at now. I mean, so I went from Lifetime. I've been a member there since like senior year of high school. And then I moved to the Colony. I was like right across the street from 24 Hour Fitness. And then there's several 24 Hour Fitnesses. So then I kept my membership at 24 Hour Fitness. I moved back to Plano. There was another one. So I was at a different location than the Colony one. I want to specify that. And then one day I went there and you know, I was wearing a Bitcoin shirt, so I don't know if you knew this about me, but whenever the whole Bitcoin thing happened, I turned out pretty good. I had bought some Bitcoin, and the whole history behind that is that I bought Bitcoin because my buddy showed me the dark web.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'd never been on the dark web, but I didn't know what that was. He was like saying that there's this whole thing, you can buy weed on the dark web, you can buy whatever you want on the dark web and stuff. And I was like, I'd never been on there. So, he brings his laptop over. He's got the special browser, I think, that you need.
Tails.
And he's got I think it's called Tor. And
right. There's a Tor browser, but if you want to do it, you can work off of USB. Have your operating system on a USB, so you're not tracked onto your device. So you can literally, but Tails is what it's called. So you have the Tor browser, and the Tor browser is built into Tails, or you can just download the Tor browser.
I gotta let this dog out.
But anyway.
But then he brought the computer, because he had a VPN and stuff, so he was like double firewall on it or whatever the fuck. And so we went and we were looking at these like pot shops or whatever on the dark web and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool, and he was like, I was like, well, how do you buy this stuff? He's like, then he told me about Bitcoin. So then I'd never really I think I heard of Bitcoin once before that. And so then I like looked up what Bitcoin was, still try to understand Bitcoin. I mean, I actually have a really good grasp on Bitcoin. I don't really want to get into Bitcoin, but there's still parts of the blockchain that are hard to understand. But anyways, so I was like, I looked at the Bitcoin. I was like, oh, so then he was explaining how you buy Bitcoin. You got to get a Bitcoin wallet. You got to do all this stuff. You got to put, do this and that. And then, once you have Bitcoin, then you can transfer the Bitcoin to this address, and then that's how you get this or whatever, and so I'm like, okay, that's cool, and I never actually did any of it, quite honestly, like I don't, I would tell you honestly if I did, but I'd never actually bought anything off of there. But what I went and I looked at Bitcoin, I looked it up, and I was like, so how much is a Bitcoin worth compared to the dollar? And it was like 50 something bucks, to the dollar
at the time,
at the time. Yeah. So then I go back. And so I was talking to my buddy about it, and then so I showed him. I was like, yeah, this is Bitcoin. This is a weird thing, that they have. And I looked it up, and it was like the price of Bitcoin was like $97.
You're like,
what
wait,
the fuck?
what?
This thing doubled in 2 weeks. I was like, this is crazy, So I was like, I was looking into investing things. Like I've actually kind of always been into that kind of thing about.
So you caught on to Bitcoin at the right time.
So I basically bought, a couple of Bitcoins, right? For like, nothing, right? I spent $500 on Bitcoin, and I think, they're like $250-ish a piece or whatever. And then, so it just kept getting boom, like, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin got all the way up to 18,000 per Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I sold it because they were all saying it was gonna pop. It was gonna pop. This bubble's gonna pop. This bubble's gonna pop.
And it did.
So I sold at 16,000. So I was like living pretty, dude. I didn't do anything for months. Like I wasn't working at all for months, dude. And then I spent all my money, on shit. Lots of stupid shit, like just rent and bills and food and liquor.
Just living pretty.
Just living nice, and then, but like if even if overnight you get $30,000, you're not rich. You know what I'm saying? Like that disappears very quickly, and so, anyways, I had a Bitcoin shirt on because I was like a believer. And I had and this dude at the gym.
You were a Bitcoin winner.
So I sold off the Bitcoin, and I started investing in other altcoins, Litecoin, Ethereum, stuff like that. And then stuff that was more steady. Bitcoin in itself is pretty volatile. The whole cryptocurrency thing is pretty volatile. But
well, it was the big name, so it hit the high heights.
So then, I just, so I was wearing this Bitcoin shirt and I was leaving the gym, and then he asked me, he's like, so, Bitcoin, this shit's crazy. And I was like, yeah, man, it is crazy, whatever. And he's just like, you got some Bitcoin? And I was just like, maybe, or whatever. And he's like, and then he's like, how many you got, dude? And I was just like, why are you asking me how much money I have?
Right.
And then so So I just thought the whole exchange was kind of weird, you know, and then I was just like, I don't know, man. I mean, it's nice. That's all I told him. I was like, it's, you know, I can't complain is what I said or something like that, you know?
Right.
And then I'll leave and then I come back, same guy's working. It was kind of later at night. You know, I like sometimes I work out kind of later, you know, 24-hour fitness is 24 hours. I don't know if you could tell that by the name of the place. But, so like, you know, I had like $800 in my wallet, you know, and I just like cash. I keep cash because I know how much I'm spending, and I know that's way too much to keep in your wallet at any time. Like I understand that.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to lecture me on that, so stop lecturing me on that. No, I'm just
no.
kidding. But anyways, yeah. So I had that money in my wallet, and so I had I went and I had. I just put my stuff in my locker, changed, and I started working out, you know, whatever. And I come back, and my locker the bolt had been cut off.
What the?
And then they had went through my shit, stole all my money and all that stuff. I actually called the cops. We got a cop to come there and stuff.
Did they have
and
cameras in the locker room?
So we were trying to, you know, they got a thing for the cameras, but they don't have a camera even facing the exit of the locker room. Yeah, so there's no way to tell. But my assumption is that it's got to be one of the people that was working there, because they have a sign at 24-hour fitness that says if you leaving your bag over here overnight, if you leave your lock on a locker, it'll be cut off. So I know that those motherfuckers have bolt cutters.
Damn.
So I think that when the guy saw me come in, he maybe followed. I wasn't paying attention. He could have followed me. He could have looked at the cameras, whatever, and then, or maybe have gone into the locker room, or
that dude that's got money.
Talk to his buddy or something, and then or somebody had to have known that. And I have a leather gym bag. Like it's kind of like, I don't know, it's not really flashy. It's pretty cheap on Amazon. I got it for like $78, but it's like very durable. That's why I got it, because it keeps the smell of sweat out, and it's durable. Like I've had it for so many years, dude. This leather bag, you know, and I just like it, you know. But I mean, it's like, you know, I know that it's easy to see or easy to remember. Oh, this is a guy with his leather gym bag. You know, he had the Bitcoin shirt, whatever, you know. And
no, he's got money.
And then that's what I think it was. I think it was an inside job. So fuck you, 24-hour fitness, because you never did anything for me about that. This guy was never caught. But
really
ever since then, I've had PTSD about this shit, you know, and like, it goes back to the whole thing about the tip jars or whatever, you know, and it's like, you know, most you know, I don't know, man, to put your tip jar on the edge of the bar, you know, you got to be pretty trusting.
And you know, everybody is always like, where's your tip jar? Like they want to stick it in there themselves.
I'm like, why don't you just give it to me?
I'm not going to put it in reach
or just
of you.
leave it on the bar.
Sorry. No.
And then what's even more fucked up is that I guess like they're like, oh, I want to make sure nobody steals this.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that too. And I'm like, well, that's why I don't have my fucking tip jar there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but anyways, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it just goes back to that whole point. It's like, you know, just you know, when you tip, I mean, you just leave your money there. It's if somebody steals,
we'll get it. I promise.
Yeah, it's like, and then
we ain't gonna let it wander off.
And then a lot of people don't understand that we don't that they think that we keep our own tips. Like we're all working together. I'm like, they're like, do you keep your tips? I'm like, well, I split it with, you know, do you split it with everybody? I'm like, yeah, we split it always. Like, why would you think any differently? Like, that makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like, why does that make sense to anybody? It's like if we all kept our own tips, I'd be mowing over people. You know what I'm saying? I'd be mowing over my coworkers.
Seriously.
I'd be like, don't go. I'd be over pouring like a motherfucker. Oh, yeah. I'd be like, you know, I'd be ringing in a massive spill tab and paying some of that myself just to if I get to keep my own tips. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's good to know that you're an honest person.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyways, you know, we have to be. We all trust each other. You know, I like to say, you know, it's like, you know, you work at a restaurant, you know, these people become your family, you know, whether you like it or not. You know what I mean? It's like not everybody gets along with their cousin. Not everybody gets along with their brother. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody gets along with their own parents. Not everybody gets along with themselves.
You certainly don't get to choose who they are.
And exactly, you don't get to choose them. Sometimes, you know, it's like if I could do all the hiring, I'd you know, I don't know. There's still probably bound to be some issues, but like I'm just saying though, it's like you know my point. It's just like you can't, you don't but you have to trust them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to trust them because you're splitting money with them, and it goes back into the thing that I was saying is like these people are once you put money into a relationship, it changes the dynamic, and then once the money is involved, you have to trust these people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we
recently had some trust issues at Gas Monkey Live. The end result of that ended up being the accuser eventually getting fired again for like the second or third time. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was
an
interesting little piece of drama. We're not going to go over that. We're not going to go into detail or talk about the people. But
our GM said that they're not doing any rehiring. So if you get canned, you can't come
honestly,
back for the second or third time.
That's a solid policy to start with.
Which I think it's crazy. I'm not going to go into it, dude. I'm just really not. But anyways, so were there any drinks or anything that anybody told you this weekend that you thought were cool? Did anybody, have you make something that was interesting?
Not really. It was more of like a drama week as opposed to an interesting make neat drinks kind of week,
Right.
Had quite a bit of drama, people being stupid, people being drunk,
Gotcha.
It was that kind of week. It's Halloween week.
Yeah. Did people dress up at all?
No, we're gonna dress up at the Gore show.
Yeah, no,
so we didn't do anything during the week.
Yeah, so that's this podcast probably won't come up in enough time for anybody to know what's going on about Guar. So, but we'll definitely talk about that probably next week. But
talk about the exciting adventures that they put out.
But that's all. That's going to be a fun show. I'll be there for that. Then this next weekend I'll be at Truck Yard every day.
So what about you? Have you heard of any new interesting drinks lately? Any old drinks that you want to try?
No, not really this past weekend either. Oh man, there was one shot that somebody said that was like and I don't even know. I don't even remember what even was in it. It had some weird name like rubber neck or long neck or some neck. I don't know, dude.
Leather neck.
Yeah, I don't know.
Neck.
I don't know what it was, and I can't even remember what's in it. So I'm just gonna go with no, and just move along. But I have, today I don't know. This is gonna be some kind of reoccurring theme. I kind of want to try stuff, together on the podcast. This is exciting because last time, we tried the pickleback shots. Mm-hmm. What else did we try? We tried the rum, peach schnapps, and Coke. I think.
Yeah. First show that we're not airing, we had the what was it? The Scotch and
we're gonna do that again. Don't blow it.
Okay.
Yeah, don't blow it. We're gonna do that one again. Yeah, we're gonna do that one again. And I actually have a better idea for that. I'll tell you.
Okay. So there's a mystery drink coming up soon.
After the show, it's actually not exciting. Don't get a hard on for this, but it's a good drink nonetheless. So you've actually never had this peanut butter whiskey, the Screwball whiskey. It's actually really popular. Kind of right now, it's going around. A lot of people are trying to figure out what they're doing with it. A lot of people are trying to figure out what drinks to make. I've tried a lot of things with the Screwball whiskey. I've tried, so you can, of course, do it straight. I like it chilled, of course. I think tastes better, obviously, than room temperature. So I keep it in the freezer.
Chocolate liqueur sounds like it'd be really good. Like a Reese's kind of thing.
Yeah, so I actually was going to say chocolate liqueur would be great. And then, you could even do the Godiva would be cool.
Yeah,
you could even do cream de cacao would be good in there. I made an old fashioned with it. I did not. Of course you did. I did not put sugar, water. I didn't put simple syrup in there.
Right. Because it's got the peanut butter flavor.
And what's kind of cool, actually, one of these days we'll have an old fashioned. I got these cherries that I made. I soaked them in Cavassier. I put a little bit of simple syrup and a little bit of water, and I double boiled it for 4 hours on the stove. These these washed and sweet cherries, black cherries, whatever they are, pitted. They're pitted though, but they're big. They're great. I use those for old fashions, and that's a good so it's like a Luxardo cherry, but a little bit different. So if you want to amp up your old fashions at home, you can kind of do something like that, which is pretty cool. That's what I did. I have a whole,
It's a little extra.
whole jar of them. It doesn't take much work. It doesn't take much, and then you got a whole bottle of Cavassier. That's always nice to drink. It's always nice to drink after you have a nice big bowl of pasta or some shit. I don't fucking know, bro. But yeah, and then I did the old fashioned. I tried it with soda water, which is pretty good. I got razzmatazz back there. I think Chambord would be better.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I have razzmatazz. So you can do like a peanut butter and jelly shot.
Inside
There's actually other things. They have other liqueurs that are fruity. So you can always do that, like grape. You do cream de cassis. You can do all different kinds of stuff. That'll be still kind of peanut butter. Even a hazelnut liqueur that they have, and then it'd be like Nutella. So have you ever had a peanut butter Nutella sandwich?
Right.
Oh, that's great. So I mean, it could do something like that. There's a lot of potential for drinks with this type of thing. I do not like the whiskey very much. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I think it's sweet. I'm not a Fireball guy. I know a lot of people are Fireball people, Rumpelmans people, whatever. I do not do stuff like that. It's too sweet. It's too much for me. You give me some Jameson, I'm happy.
But it's something interesting you can mix with cordials.
But I think having like one shot of it is pretty neat. It's pretty cool. We're gonna try that. So I'm actually just gonna pour us a couple shots. We'll take them, and then I'll get your take on it. I will say before I do that though, it's the best version I had of this drink was I actually got some grape soda. And it was fucking really good.
Okay.
So I did half regular soda, half grape soda to tone down on the sugar content a little bit. It was like a fucking grape soda press with this liquor, and God, that was actually pretty damn good, and I could actually rock with that.
Right.
So I will say that. But yeah, a lot of people were trying to figure out what to do with this shit, and I don't know.
Honestly,
I had me a bit of R&D one day. I got really fucking wasted, and I tried all these different things with that peanut butter whiskey. And maybe that's not why I don't like it very much. But
yeah, it sounds like there's a cornucopia of Fanta drinks that you could mix with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. Well, they got strawberry, they got grape. What else they got? What else has Fanta got?
I think there's also raspberry. I don't know if orange would be very good with it.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
but hell, why not try it?
All right, I'm gonna go get a couple shots for us.
Let's do this thing.
All right, so this is I'm off mic here.
Screwball.
This is that whiskey here. It's called Screwball.
Nice little package there.
Yeah, it's 70 proof. My dog with his freaking toy. 70 proof, and it really doesn't have a burn or anything. It's sweet.
We're about to find out. Whew. It's thick. You know what I mean? It's like syrupy when it pours.
Yeah.
Should be interesting. You can definitely smell the peanut butter tones, flavors.
I'm gonna try this out.
It's thick going down. It's almost like Tuaca in the consistency. And I don't know, maybe like a peanut butter Tuaca thing kind of feels like, you know what I mean? It's pretty good. I don't know why you don't like it very much. I think tastes pretty decent. It's called Screwball. This is the brand there for that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't like sweet stuff that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not a big when I go out, you like whiskey cokes, right? That's your jam, right? When I go out, I don't order I don't even order really like if I'm going to get something like that. I'll do like a vodka soda, some lime, some citrus or something like that is good.
Yeah, I'm not huge on sours. Like,
you know,
you like sour beer and shit?
I like a Collins, you know. I like a vodka Collins. Even that Chilton drink that we were talking about last episode is really good. I don't do sweet stuff at all. You know, I'm not a big sugar advocate. I don't drink soda. I mean, I just don't. But that's just me, dude. I don't know. But yeah, stuff's, you know, I don't know. I gotta say, remarkably, you know, it is pretty smooth.
It is.
It tastes pretty good. You know, considering all things that it could be. You know, when you say peanut butter whiskey, that sounds fucking horrible. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's a lot of other whiskeys that they have out there that is just, ugh. You know what I mean? But this stuff, maybe one of the reasons, like I said, why it wasn't exactly my PB and jam was that. It was just like I just drank so much of it one day. Like, you saw the remnants of that bottle. That was what was left after one day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I haven't been drinking this since that fucking day I bought it. Yeah. So, and that's been a while. So. Yeah,
no, I mean I just think it tastes like a peanut butter flavor, it's a little bit thinner than Tuaca, but like more like a peanut butter flavored Tuaca type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not horrible, dude. I like it. I mean, it's pretty good. I think, honestly, man, what would be awesome is like to keep it at room temperature and shake it. I think that'd probably be
froth it up a little bit.
Well, just to water it down just a tad. You know, make it a little bit.
Oh, I got you. Shaking it nice.
I don't know what's up with my dogs today. They're just being really fucking lively, so y'all are just gonna have to deal with it.
But when you shake it in ice, you get that little frothy, foamy.
It's true. Thing. Yeah. You know, what a lot of people don't know is, this is the mixologist in me coming out, is that so when you shake something, I'll go get my shaker and show you.
When you shake something, it I don't know where he's going with this, other than just the frothy, foamy part of it. And like he was saying before, also it waters it down a little bit, cracks the ice, and opens up the flavors, I guess.
Yeah, so when you shake something, instead of doing it like this, okay, which is not correct for the most part, what happens is you break pieces of the ice off as you're shaking that. When you're making a cocktail, you want to bruise the ice, or you don't want to bruise the ice. You don't want to bruise the drink. Like, you know, that's why you don't shake gin, for example. That's why you really don't shake whiskey and stuff like that. But so when you're making a cocktail, you want to shake like this, you know? So
like you see them doing movies.
What happens is that, and a lot of people do like that, you know, what happens is you're getting the circular pattern with the ice. So you're actually making a vortex in this thing here, you know? And doing this, you're breaking pieces off of the ice, actually watering down the product too much and bruising the liquor and making it taste slightly different. A lot of people don't know that when you're making a martini, you're always supposed to stir, unless somebody says shake it.
Unless they're James Bond.
Or it's dirty. If you add olive juice to the martini, that's when you shake it, unless they want stirred. So that's why in James Bond, he's a shake and not stirred.
Because it's supposed to be stirred.
That was an important part of the movie.
Right.
As far as correctness goes, because that's actually very correct. But James Bond likes to drink Vespers, which is a different kind of martini in general. It's half gin, half vodka, and Lillet.
Right. He was, he probably was frequenting like casino, big time casinos like in Monaco and stuff like that, you know what I mean, where he was ordering drinks. So like this is like multi-billion-dollar casinos, to multi-million-dollar players, so it's like they have the high class, like super correct, like old school form of bartending kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but here's my thing, and I said this in the last podcast, is that you have this job, this is how you make money, this is how you make a living. You should be proud. You should have knowledge. You should know like this, like I'm gonna
For
go
sure.
back, I'm gonna say it again. This guy was like going back, he's like, oh, let's go back and forth on what shots, it's like
Right,
we could have this fucking pissing match all night, but it's like, okay, what is the grain build on a bourbon? How much corn does a bourbon have?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Bourbon is different than whiskey. Whiskey is not all whiskey is bourbon. All bourbon is whiskey, but it doesn't go the other way. You know what I'm saying? And what is the difference between a wheat beer and a lager? What is the difference between a porter and a stout? Do you
Honestly,
know?
There's so much information that's
there's so much information,
a learning experience.
But
learning
that's
process.
also, honestly, I really wanted this podcast for bullshitting and comedy too. But it would be cool if every now and then somebody takes something out of this, whatever, that they didn't know before. Like if they didn't know how to shake the shit right, and if they didn't know what a Vesper was, or whatever, if they didn't know what the screwball was, like if you didn't know what any of this stuff was,
we're gonna be
and
throwing
now
out
you
little
know,
tidbits of
that's
info.
that's fucking cool. You know what I mean? I'm not against that, although I am a sarcastic prick most of the time. You know what I mean? But I'm not against people learning anything. Because it took me, because people all the time ask me, is bartending hard? Like this chick, that barbacks, she asked me, she was like, what made you want to be a bartender? And I was like, I don't know that I really thought about it before I did it, but I've been doing it for almost 10 years. And I think that, I'm always learning something new. I'm not the best bartender there ever was. You should always learn something new, no matter what you do in your life.
For
you
sure.
know what I mean?
For
like,
sure.
And I don't know, man. That's like, there's so many people that we work with that just don't give a shit about their, what they do. Like, they're not passionate about this at all. I'm like, you can make good money doing this if you're good at what you do. That's it with any job. And there's people that are just going to be
subpar,
and I mean,
take the extra step to learn.
But wouldn't it be crazy if we lived in a society where everybody was trying to be the best they could be?
That would be insane.
You know what I mean? And why don't people do that? I don't understand. Why don't you want to be the best?
Well,
that you can be?
I think that there's a large disparity over how much you make and how much you try. Like your how much you try does not necessarily correlate with how much you make on a regular basis. You know what I mean? Like there are some jobs where you make an obscene amount of money for a very small amount of work, and there are some jobs where you may do an obscene amount of work for a small amount of money. So I think it's really depending on your incentive and your motivations. I think if people are motivated, I think if a lot of people are motivated, they'll go the extra mile for that extra reward. There are obviously always going to be some people who won't, do go that extra mile no matter what. You know what I mean? But
that's my point. I don't know if I agree with you 100% in what you just said. I mean, I think that if you work, if you want to, you can. Like if you just
absolutely. But there are just some people who won't.
But I'm just saying, when you're saying that there's jobs where you make a lot and you don't do very much, how did you get there?
Right.
It's always gonna. You never just
sometimes
1%,
daddy handed them the job.
Exactly. 1%. That's 1% of these people.
Yeah.
1% maybe of these people that get handed this shit.
Yeah.
The Warren Buffetts, the fucking rich people who just have money to invest already. There's other people that slept in cars till they had money, till they were making cold calls and selling stocks until they eventually had $100,000 and they made the right moves. There are people like,
well, I wasn't saying all jobs are that way. You know what I mean?
I know, but not even a good portion of jobs are like that though. You gotta earn it, you know. And I feel like bartending is like that too. It's not something you can work your way up. You can get a really good job. You can go work in Vegas, make $20 an hour at the Bellagio plus tips. I mean, there's a guy I know who does that. So
saying they make $20 an hour is honestly just that's a farce. They make so much more than that.
Oh no, I'm just saying 20 plus tips.
Yeah.
So it's like that's like if our base is $213 and we get the money, we make the money that we make.
Right.
Imagine making $20 an hour plus whatever.
It's insane.
So. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just that you could always do better. And I'm like, what? If it's a relatively easy job. You know what I mean? Just try to learn something new every day, with whatever you do. And that's
absolutely. And that's the thing with whatever you do. Try and learn something every day.
That's the most sentiment I'm going to give in this entire fucking show. But yeah, so I got some razzmatazz, and so I was gonna go ahead and see if you want
Some
do a peanut butter and jelly shot. I think it's pretty cool.
I think it sounds really good.
You know, raspberry may not be. You know, you could do strawberry, you could do grape, you could do whatever. There's all different kinds of liqueurs.
Strawberry's my jam.
De Kuyper makes all kinds of liqueurs.
Yeah.
You could even do apple. Sour apple sounds actually pretty fucking good with this too. So.
Yeah. So. I don't know. I like I was saying though, there's there are some jobs, I guess, that and honestly there are even bartender jobs that are super easy that you just make tons of money, like stupid money. There are some places you know what I mean, that it's just ridiculously
hey, I'm not even mad. I'm not even like gonna hold back the you know, I don't even know what I'm trying to really say. I'm gonna put these bitches on blast because there are girls that I know that have moved to Vegas and that are these There's one girl that I know that I used to be friends with way back in the day, and I still follow her on Instagram. And she she's a cart girl for like this club, and like, dude, they literally, I can't remember the club. They literally have this fucking cart. She goes around and she takes bottles and like she just like pours alcohol. She just sells shots. She'll pour it into your mouth, whatever. And like she just rides in this fucking car and people just throw money at her. She'll have videos of her doing this, and she just rides in this little cart. She'll go stop at all these bottle service tables, and just that's what she does. And she makes thousands a night.
Damn good living.
$1,000 a night.
Damn good living.
At least.
Yeah, no. Honestly, there's a lot of bartenders.
But I'm like, if you're a beautiful woman, dude, why not I'm just saying.
Why not?
Why not? I would definitely.
Why not Zoidberg?
I'd do it, and I'm an ugly guy.
Yeah, no, I mean that is actually a huge plus about bartending is that, you know, you can make an insane amount of money being an ugly guy or an insane amount of money being a pretty girl. Like, it's really all dependent on kind of, I guess, your personality and how you interact with people.
Tried to layer here. Look at that. It looks nice, huh?
It smells really good too.
Yeah. Cheers. Much better than the first time, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the little hint of Raz is definitely makes it tastier.
When you sink it on the bottom, that's the last taste you get. So you get this initial taste of the peanut butter, and then the Raz kind of. I like that. It's good.
And it does make it a little thicker.
Yeah, thicker than a Snicker.
Thicker than a Snicker.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I wanted to make it kind of a thing where we kind of try new stuff, you know, on the show. And then I'm actually going to talk about getting some friends on this show as well. You know,
guest stars, having
some guests and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. There's a few brands that I like a lot that I use when I work. And I'm maybe try to reach out to some of these people, see if they want to, you know.
Sponsor us.
If
you'd like to sponsor us,
maybe in the future we're gonna
don't hesitate to let us know.
We'll do some ad reads. You know, I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but I like to talk my fucking head off, so that could be good.
Maybe in the future we'll do a little more, some more complex drink builds. You know what I mean, with muddling and such. What do you think?
I'm open to whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, we could have already started off with that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I don't want to. One show I absolutely hate is a tipsy bartender. I don't want to be like that. I don't know if you, yeah, it's like it's like a YouTube, Facebook page, and they post all these. And it's just. I think
I've seen the Facebook page.
It's just like people. Show. No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's like they do these little episodes. They make these drinks, and they're just grossly, like, not made correctly. So I don't want to. I mean, obviously, what I'm doing.
They don't have a podcast. They do like little shorts.
Obviously, what I'm gonna do is not gonna be done incorrectly. But I'm just saying, I don't want to turn into something that's like we do these weird shark bait shots,
clickbait
gummy
things.
Shark bait shots with like gummies in them and shit.
What?
And yeah, dude, I'll show you after this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the stuff that they do is fucking ridiculous. And it all looks bad, to be honest. I just want but I'm not gonna just do. I would rather. I don't know why we're talking about this on the podcast, but I would rather do stuff that is new, unique.
Yeah.
Not necessarily stuff that's been done. Stuff that
I gotcha.
people introduce, because I mean it's a lot of, I don't know. No matter how good you are, people are gonna still, bring up new shit all the time that you work. And there's this really great book I think that you should pick up. It's called The Joy of Mixology. Any of you guys should pick up. It's called The Joy of Mixology. So what I like about this book is it goes into depth about explaining about stuff rather than like just giving you recipes. It gives you
context, right?
Yeah, it has recipes, and it just goes in more in depth. It goes more in depth about the tools, about all different kinds of stuff about bartending. And it's really great book. And my buddy showed me the book, and I picked it up and read through it, and there's some stuff in there. I definitely was like,
did you learn something from the book?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just like, sometimes people come in and you may know a lot, but you may not know everything. I don't think you'll ever know everything.
Nobody knows everything.
So there's always new drinks being made, and that's kind of what I want to experience with everybody.
For sure.
And as we have guests on in the future, or whatever, hopefully they'll bring some new flavor to this as well. So, but anyways, yeah. So I pulled up our Patreon earlier. Patreon.com/standardpour. I'm gonna work on doing a Twitter eventually. I'll work on doing an Instagram, putting up little shorts from this. Shit.
Even if we're not live, you can post on our Twitter, and maybe we'll pull it up and talk about your answer your questions, maybe, or
by the next time. By the next time we do the show, I'll have the Twitter. We're completely self-producing this. Right now, or I'm pretty much producing the whole thing. So, in the future, bear with us. I mean, in the future, hope things will probably get better. I mean, I think they're pretty okay to start, minus the continuing video issues that I have. But hopefully I'll figure that out by the next time. I know I said that last time. This is technically the third episode that we've done. The first one is going to be probably in the vault because it was pretty.
It'll be in the vault until enough of you shell out some cash.
It was pretty rough
to make us.
It's pretty rough. The video cut out like 29 minutes.
Release the blooper reel.
Yeah, the video cut out 29 minutes in, and it was just kind of like, we just didn't really feel like, we just kind of. We're both kind of like stumbling around on our words and shit. So, I don't know, man. But is there anything else you got?
No, man. I think we addressed everything from the week.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I can't really think of anything. I mean, just another regular kind of. It's Halloween weekend. It's crazy, but.
I'm sure we'll have some stories next week.
Yeah, I mean the Guar show's gonna be great. So
Guar show's gonna be some shit.
You said Guar. Is it Guar or Guar? I don't know. I say Guar.
I don't know.
Does it matter?
It's just an accent.
I like to be right. I just like to know the right. I like to know the right way. I just like to know the right way and do the wrong thing.
Yeah. No, I know Beavis and Butthead called them Guar.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I like to know. Like I said, I like to know the right way and do the wrong thing. All right. Well, until next week.
Until next time.
Peace out, motherfuckers. The Standard Pour. Standard Pour. Standard